Thursday morning. You know what that means. Andy's on the microphone with Brian and Gene. The morning sickness show. It's where I want to be. Strumming my guitar, soft and gently. Where bacon rules all, and Bloody Marys are tall, and Pearl Street beers chase them all. I'm here to sing to you, tell you have a great day, and don't forget to come rock out with Tug Sunday.
Ah, yes, our good buddy Andy Hughes from Tug. Very busy individual these days. Summer gets ramped up and bars are opening up their patios, and Andy's going to be playing every night of the week, basically, all throughout the Cooley region. It's good to hear from him. Good to run into him at the grocery store a couple days ago. Wasn't too bad to run into Andy and say hello. Hello. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Thursday song to kick things off. Hypothetical questions. We'll get to those a bit later. No office Cora this week. She'll be back next week. Had to take a couple of weeks off for some reason, but looking forward to having her back next Thursday. Also, we'll get to bad news, happy music, and all sorts of other stuff. Looks like it's going to be a pretty decent day. A few clouds, but a high of 71 in the area. And then mostly sunny tomorrow to wrap up the work week with a high of 84. Staying in the 80s this weekend, might get to 90 degrees on Monday. So air conditioning definitely getting turned back on in my house. Going to mow the lawn today, too, so I'm not dying out there on Friday or Saturday when it's in the 80s. Ugh. Oh, thank you. We'll get to Ghost and 3 Days Grace in a bit. Head to our website, rockmornings.com. If you want to get in touch with us, you can listen to the program live on the website. Check out the daily podcast, all that stuff right there at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Again, cloudy with a high in the low 70s today, so that's perfect lawn mowing weather.
Things are going the other direction. Sunshine and in the 80s for the weekend. Looks like, 88 maybe, 89?
We're looking at almost 90 on Monday, so my air conditioning is going to get turned on tomorrow morning before I leave the house, so it's nice and cold when I get home from work.
Should be more, warming up the water and stuff like that. I've got someone's going camping in my family up to Devil's Lake, and I was like, gorgeous, beautiful. Hikes are awesome up there. But the water is probably cold. I mean, that's a cold lake anyway, with very clear. But we haven't had the warm enough to really warm up the water. But this weekend changes that.
Looking at setting up a pool in our backyard. We've had one of those
for the dog to swim.
Well, we'll see how she does. We have yet to encounter water, other than rain and the hose occasionally spraying it at her when she's outside. She doesn't seem to like that. But we'll see about a pool in the backyard. We've got one of those 10-foot inflatable pools.
Just sit in, put your feet in.
And we've set it up on the deck the last couple of years, just enough to jump in and cool off and have a beverage. It's just kind of. 59-year-old lacrosse man sentenced to 7.5 years in federal prison, possessing and distributing meth. Tu Dang Tao pleading guilty to the charges back in March. He and his former spouse were arrested last year during a traffic stop in La Crosse while returning from Minnesota, where they reportedly picked up some meth. Justice Department release said that Tao sold 203 grams of meth to an informant in La Crosse. Mr. Tao claimed to have received the meth from sources in other states as well as from Mexico and Canada. Also accused of possessing a firearm during a drug transaction and sought more firearms. Previously sentenced to probation during a separate court hearing back in March, but now he's going to federal prison for 7.5 years for his dealings with methamphetamines. Eau Claire man facing several charges after pointing a gun at another person and fleeing from police after a traffic stop. 47-year-old Leo Lacey charged with possession of a firearm by a felon, false imprisonment, first-degree recklessly endangering safety, and a bunch of other stuff as well. The victim said that on May 22nd, around 9:30 in the morning, he was at Smoke Claire and Leo Lacey entered the store. The victim reported that he had known Lacey for about a year, and he and Lacey previously used drugs together. Lacey then approached the victim from behind at the store, pulled out a firearm, and an officer conducting a traffic stop on a vehicle with Lacey and a passenger inside. The passenger got out of the vehicle, and then Lacey fled. Of course, a chase ensued. The police officer was talking to the passenger of the car, learned there was a hit-and-run crash at the intersection of Margaret Street and Badger Avenue involving a green Mitsubishi, which The Mitsubishi then fled the scene on foot. The loaded magazine, empty holster found in the Mitsubishi at the crash site. The car is the same description that Lacey fled in. So, yeah, this whole thing is a mess.
Oh, man.
Lacey admitted he should have stopped and gotten out of the car and complied with the officer's commands earlier in the day. But this guy's going to be in some big trouble now. Charged with, I believe, 23 different counts after pulling that gun on somebody.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Elon Musk is leaving his government role as the top advisor to the president after spearheading efforts to reduce and overhaul the federal bureaucracy. Billionaire entrepreneur posting yesterday about his decision on Twitter. As my scheduled time as a special government employee comes to an end, I would like to thank President @Real Donald Trump for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending. The Doge mission will only strengthen over time as it becomes a way of life throughout the government. White House official who requested anonymity to talk about the change confirmed that Elon Musk was leaving. Departure coming a day after he criticized the centerpiece of Trump's legislative agenda, saying he was disappointed by what the president calls his big, beautiful bill. So I guess there's some contention there, those two not getting along. Ford recalling a bunch of vehicles, over 1 million vehicles, due to freezing rear view camera issues that could lead to crashes. Software error may cause the rear view camera image to delay, freeze, and not display when the vehicle
problem, I guess,
is in reverse. That's certainly a big issue. Ford not aware of any injuries right now related to the recall, but if you've got a Ford vehicle with a rear view camera,
you're going to want to look into that.
You may want to Google that and find out
makes and models and years and all that stuff.
If your car is included in that recall. It's over 1 million vehicles, so yeah, it could be you. And the U.S. News and World Report ranking of the 2025-2026 best places to live in the U.S., analyzing 859 different cities throughout the country, and 9 of them are from Wisconsin. 9 cities out of the state of Wisconsin making the U.S. News list. Number 49, the highest on the list for cities from Wisconsin, is Eau Claire, so congratulations to Eau Claire.
Beautiful.
53, Appleton. 87, Waukesha. Oshkosh at number 114. Wausau at 125. Green Bay at 170. Sheboygan at 185. Janesville at 186. And Kenosha coming in at 214. 9 Wisconsin cities on the U.S. News and World Report's best places to live in America.
Love that for us. Good job.
Yeah. Quality of life, job market, value of living, net migration, desire to live in the area, all that stuff they take into account.
Healthcare, crime, education.
Surveys, yeah, crap like that. So, not bad. 9 out of the top 859. Probably could have used a few more, but 3 Days Grace in a couple of minutes. Got some Rockfest music from them. Also, Ghost right now with Satan Eyes.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Rockfest music from 3 Days Grace. We're just like a month and some change away from Rockfest in Cadott.
Yeah, middle of July.
I know. It's crazy. It's creeping. It's creeping. The Brew Crew over the Red Sox yesterday, 6-5, 10 innings again. They sweep that series against Boston.
Fly ball into center. Raphael is back. Tagging is Freeland. Raphael and makes the catch. Here's the throw home. It is late. Ball game over. Caleb Durgan does it again.
Yeah. Brewers are off today. They are at Philly tomorrow night for the first of 3 against the Phillies. That's a 5:45 first pitch tomorrow night. NBA. Last night, the Oklahoma City Thunder thumping the Minnesota Timberwolves by 30, 124-94. They advance to the NBA Finals.
Well, the magical season continues. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going back to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, they will, of course, await the winner of the Pacers-Knicks series, which continues tonight. Indiana at New York, Game 5 of that series, 7 p.m. on TNT. The Pacers up 3-1. On the ice last night.
Taylor Hall up with it. 4 seconds to go. Foster's hands it across. Burns a drive. Third time and still a charm. The Florida Panthers are going back to the Stanley Cup Final with a chance to defend their title.
Yeah, Panthers now in their third Stanley Cup Final in a row, looking to defend and repeat as champions. Beating the Carolina Hurricanes last night, 5-3. They advanced to the Stanley Cup Finals. And tonight in the NHL, Edmonton is at Dallas at 7 p.m. on ESPN. Game 5 of that series. Oilers are up 3-1. Astros starter Ronel Blanco will miss the remainder of the season due to a right elbow injury. The team announced yesterday he'll undergo Tommy John surgery on his elbow, and the team's initial statement did not provide specifics on his injury or the surgery, but he'll be out at least for the rest of this season, maybe part of the beginning of next season. Charlie Woods, Tiger's kid.
Yes.
Tiger Woods, y'all, his kid, won his first American Junior Golf Association title at the Team TaylorMade Invitational yesterday at just 16 years old. His winning score was 15 under, 3 shots clear of the field, so he did pretty damn well. Tiger Woods' kid, Charlie Woods, dominating the final round on Wednesday at the Black Course at Stream Song Resort in Florida, shooting 6 under with 8 birdies. He shot a 65 on Monday, followed it up with a 66 on Tuesday. Extremely impressive 36-hole outing for a 16-year-old, so it runs in the family, apparently.
I guess so.
And
live
elsewhere,
it, breathe it, I guess, that kind of a thing.
What's that?
Live it, breathe it kind of a thing.
Well, I'm sure that he's had a golf club in his hand since he came out the womb. And elsewhere in the world of golf, after considerable pushback from the players and fans, the PGA Tour is changing the format to its season-ending tour championship, dropping the controversial starting strokes system that has been in place since 2019. At the season-ending event at East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta, all 30 players who qualify for the tournament will have a chance to win the Tour Championship and thus the FedEx Cup by winning the tournament. Gone is any advantage that players had received based on their FedEx Cup points going into the event. Starting in 2019, the tournament saw the leaders start at minus 10, under 10, with second place starting at under 8, and going down to even par for the last 5 players in the field. Thus, a player who shot at the lowest 72-hole score over the entire tournament might not always win the FedEx Cup. So they've done away with that, and now it's sort of an evil and level playing field for everybody when it comes to winning the FedEx Cup. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene.
Better day today? I mean, I guess it hasn't been bad. It's been, a little bit cool for this time of the year, but it's
yesterday
been all right.
was nice in the afternoon.
It got real nice in the afternoon.
Dried up,
yeah, it did. But warmer today, and as we warm up into the 70s and then eventually towards the 80s and a lot more sunshine for the weekend, it looks like we'll be in the mid-80s with sunshine both Saturday and Sunday. Looking forward to that.
Hypothetical Thursday, we'll get to our questions just after 7 o'clock. No office Cora this week. She's out yet again, so we'll wait till next Thursday to talk to her, find out what she's up to. I got some hailstorm in Lincoln Park, and if you need something, rockmornings.com is where you can go.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Hailstorm with darkness always wins. Going out on tour with Lindsey Sterling, right? The violin chick who played, what was it, the national anthem?
I don't know.
Or no, it was at Lambeau, right? She played at the draft.
Is there a tour anywhere near us? Treasure Island?
I think they're going to be a couple of places, but you're going to have to drive. Obviously, it's not in town, but yeah. Hailstorm going out with Lindsey Sterling and a couple of dates in the area. Later this year, September, I believe. Somewhere around the 19th, 20th, somewhere there. Your kids are all in the dating pool? They use apps? Any apps for your kids?
Yes.
I mean, some of them are, committed relationships, but...
Right.
But they've used the apps?
Yes.
Is there a go-to app?
I don't really know now because there's a lot of...
New apps?
Yes.
Well, there's always been, there was, plenty of fish.com, and there was, Tinder was a big one for a while.
But I believe that there are other ones that they're not...
And ones that are designed for women, so they have to be the one to respond. You can't just get in touch with them.
Well, ones that that are more safe, if you will. If you're the dating young lady, maybe, and you're concerned about that.
Right, the access that a guy would have to you on an app. Tinder
Bumble
apparently...
is another one.
Bumble? All right. Tinder is apparently trying to rebrand itself because Gen Z doesn't have as much sex. They don't Tinderize as much.
All right.
We had heard how popular Tinder was years ago with the Olympics. People were using it to have hookups with other hot Olympians. But Tinder apparently struggling And not because single people aren't using dating apps, it's because they are not hooking up as much as they used to.
This is a generation that experiences a loneliness epidemic. They've been online for the last couple of years. Even when they're not online, they're still online because they're looking at their phones constantly. And so this is a generation that needs IRL, in real life connections. And companies like Tinder can help provide that if we provide them with the types of products that they're looking for. Looking at a photo and judging it, that is cringy for a lot of Gen Z people. Like it makes them feel bad about themselves to look at a photo and say thumbs up, thumbs down.
So that is the new CEO of Tinder. The guy, his name is Spencer Raskoff, and he's trying to revamp the image of Tinder because it's struggling to gain traction among Gen Zs between the ages of 18 and 28. Said it's not a hookup generation. They don't drink as much alcohol. They don't have as much sex, and that's apparently the problem. Recent poll of single people on dating apps, a whopping 85%. So that's a large majority of people say they don't use Tinder because of its reputation for hookups.
Yeah.
But the 15% that do, man, they're swimming in it. They're knee deep.
I think Bumble and I think Hinge is another one that is popular that I've heard being used. And I think probably because it has that reputation, right? It's like swipe and this, and they're like, let's try a different format. We're getting to know people than that.
He says they're trying to adapt by shifting the focus to casual meetups, including double dates, which will be rolling out this summer. That'll improve the quality of matches to encourage more lasting relationships and less hookups. Also in relationship news, arbitrary anniversaries. Are you familiar with these?
I am not. So not like 6 months of dating, something like that.
This is one of those things where they just come up with cute little nicknames for stuff that already exists. And this is basically an anniversary for something that is not all that important. Like, when was our first date? When did we first meet? When did we kiss for the first time? But like more along, when did you poop with the door open? When did I
meet your parents?
I think things that are a little more whimsical. When did you...
okay.
When did we first find out that you don't like coffee? Those kind of goofy things. It's trending after a writer for a website did a big story on it, but a relationship expert came up with it back in 2021. They're called arbitrary anniversaries. The idea is you're creating additional excuses to celebrate one another in your relationship, including weird stuff like the day you knew you had a crush on each other, the day you went on your first trip together, the day you slid into their DMs, the day you first saw each other naked, stuff like that. So not the big hallmarks, the big
Left
anchors.
my toothbrush at your house.
Yeah, on purpose, right?
Yeah.
So, and not just for couples who are married. This is obviously for anybody that's in a relationship, but a new relationship trend is apparently arbitrary anniversaries. I can't remember. The nice thing is that when I first kissed my wife, it was on New Year's Eve, so it's like...
Oh, you got that locked down.
So easy to remember. So easy.
Every time it rolls around, you're like, hey, our first kiss. And you
wedding
seem like
anniversary, there's a big etched mirror that we got as a gift from friends of ours.
With a date on it?
That's downstairs, and I think it's got the date on it. Plus, we got some autographed photos. Like, we had pictures that people signed when they came to the wedding. So, and it's always the weekend of beer, wine, and cheese, which is always a good reminder for me. But... so I've got those two things going for me. Which
I got
is nice.
no idea about any of that.
Oh, my wife remembers stuff like that, and
nope.
I can't. I got
zero.
Yeah. When was the first time that we went to Boston?
I think I can remember maybe the season, like it was warm out.
I'm always saying things like, I think it was a decade ago. It was about a decade ago. That was about a decade ago. I just kind of put it in that frame, and then my wife will correct me. I'll be like, I think wasn't that 10 years ago? And she's like, no, that was only like 6 years ago. I'll be like, I could have swore it was a decade ago. Yeah. I figure 10 years is, we've been together for, I don't know, 16, 17, and whatever it is. And 10 years is usually like ballpark figure. That's good enough.
I mean, I remember the sentiments. I remember some of the things we did. I remember obviously the feelings, but to remember the dates, forget it. Get out of here.
Television tonight, you've got the Scripps National Spelling Bee Finals on ION.
When Aretha first told us what RSPECT meant to her.
Could I have the origin of the word, please, Obama? RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. The Scripps National Spelling Bee Finals tonight on ION, whatever the hell that is.
I think it's its 100th anniversary of this championship, yeah.
A lot of little nerds up there spelling with their hands in their pockets.
Very nervous.
Yeah. Hopefully one of them goes down. That's always my favorite.
What?
Dude, I love it when those kids pass out from the pressure. It's great. It's a good life lesson. Learn how to breathe.
They can't be, over 50? They got to be under 15, I believe.
Teach them some kind of coping mechanism, something like that.
That is a lot of pressure.
8th season premiere of Jersey Shore Family Vacation on MTV. They just keep pumping these people out. 3rd season premiere of the Sex and the City spinoff, and Just Like That. That's on Max tonight. Season 4 finale of Hacks, also on Max. And on Netflix today, the series premiere of Department Q. Matthew Good plays a troubled detective in charge of a new cold case unit in Edinburgh.
Aren't you supposed to ask me some questions?
How about how your best friend was shot in front of you and you think that it's your fault?
Is this some new kind of therapy?
We are here today to announce a new department aimed specifically at tackling cold cases. At the helm of this new department will be Detective Chief Inspector Karen Mork.
My own department? Just me? Well, I need a car.
No, we can't just give you a car. This isn't The Price is Right.
Gonna need to put on the subtitles on that bad boy.
Boy, I got the prices right there, but...
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell it was. I had to listen to it 3 times this morning, and I was like, what is she saying? The price is what? And
The Price is Right. Got that.
Yeah. That's on Netflix today, the series premiere of Department Q. Meanwhile, the series premiere of The Better Sister on Amazon. It's a thriller starring Jessica Biel and Elizabeth Banks as estranged sisters who reunite after Jessica's husband is murdered and the prime suspect is their son.
Burglary gone wrong is quickly falling out of the lead for me. Oh, that's a selfie.
Replaced by...
Someone staged this.
Who's this? Hey, Nikki. I got here as soon as I could. Are you family? This is my sister. And Ethan's mother. Biological Ethan lives with me.
Ethan's other mom, Adam's ex, she's unstable.
What a crazy turn. The world knowing you stole your sister's life.
Oh my God, this is everywhere. This is a good photo of us.
The Better Sister on Amazon Prime. Series premiere of that today. Only one of the late night shows is new, and that's Kimmel. He's got Ricky Gervais and Caitlin Deaver as his guests this evening. My wife was binging Bridgerton, so I caught several of the episodes while I was working on the computer while she was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
You watch Bridgerton?
Mm-mm.
I definitely, it's not a thing for me. I'm good. My wife told me all about it, though. I mean, was happy to tell me who's doing what and what's happening and all that. And now there's a spinoff, apparently.
Yeah, not my bag.
No.
I don't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, that's definitely not my bag. I was watching the Red Sox get beat by the Brewers yesterday.
Again, that was a sweep, wasn't it? Get the broom out. Here they come.
I know. I went to the game on Monday. They lost that one. And then I went, they lost, of course, yesterday in the afternoon. Gross. Stupid-ass Red Sox. Hypothetical Thursday. We'll get to those questions here in just a bit. Rockmornings.com if you want to get in touch with us. Listen to the show live on the website. Going to be cloudy today with a high in the low 70s. Warming up, though, tomorrow. Mid-80s tomorrow with lots of sunshine. Here's Green Day.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Queens of the Stone Age on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Text from Rob said that as a student at UWL, I can confirm that one of the more popular dating apps that some of the students mentioned was Hinge.
Yeah, Hinge.
It was an interesting final research project that the girls chose.
Yep. That's the one I hear about.
What's the unique qualities about Hinge?
I don't know. I've not been on it. I just know it's an online dating app and it's not Tinder. You know what I mean? Because I do think that there's that...
I mean, obviously there weren't any apps and the internet, not really a thing back then, but my best friend met his wife on
I know
a
lots of
dating app,
people who have.
Which when it happened, I was like, you know, I was like, man, I had never had any problems meeting chicks in the bars, you know what I mean? But it worked out. Good for him.
I think there's a lot of prompts, like questions to answer, as opposed to just a photo.
Right,
So
in a
the-
brief
more
description.
So it's it asks you questions about things, and then you're both answering them.
I'm not sure where this lady met her future husband, but apparently she got the website or the app wrong because they broke up days before the wedding. A woman from Nebraska named Toby Elder is trending right now because she went on her honeymoon with her dad.
So a trip of a lifetime, all paid for, and everything was booked, and so you either lose it or you go make memories.
Use it or lose it, right?
Uh-huh.
Supposed to get married this month. Her and her fiance broke up 2 days before the wedding.
Does it say why?
Decided to go on her honeymoon trip to Hawaii anyways and do it solo, but she got there and felt lonely until her 68-year-old dad named Robert texted and said he was on his way.
Can I join you on that trip?
Posted a video of him walking out of the airport, wrote, when you're heartbroken on what was supposed to be your honeymoon in Hawaii, so your dad flies 2,500 miles to hang out with you.
Hell yeah, I would.
I'm not quite sure as to why they broke up, but 2 days before the wedding, anything could be the reason. It could be the stress of the wedding planning. It could be an incident at a
secrets that were found out all of a
bachelor
sudden.
party. Usually it's something, look, the stress is a stress. I get it. It's a lot as people who have gotten married, but that usually is not enough to end the relationship completely 2 days before the wedding.
I told you about when we were at the...
It tends to be more of, that happened at your bachelor party. Okay, well, I guess we're not getting married anymore.
We went to the church... I don't know, classes that before getting married.
Yeah, the brainwashing. That's what I like to call it. The brainwashing.
You call it that, but
because that's what it was. It's brainwashing for someone who doesn't believe in the church or God or Jesus or any of that crap. I went to these things and it just felt like I was trying to get brainwashed by these people. Okay. And I was like, look, I don't know you. You don't know me. I'm never going to see you again ever in my life. So I don't know why I have to be here. And then at the end of it all, I had to go and sit through a full mass right in the front. And I was really pissed off. And I was wearing pants.
I didn't have that same experience or feel the same way about it. But we went to a retreat. It was a ways away. I think it was like an hour or two away from where we were living at the time.
Okay.
But it was for couples, and you had to talk about different things. Speaking of prompts, there was prompts to talk about different things, finances and visions for children, whatever, your family and all that stuff. And this couple, we had breakout sessions or whatever, got in this massive fight, and he left her there. Like, he got up and, left and drove away. And this place it was out, at this retreat thing out in the country. And she's crying. And, 2 hours later, we realized we have to try to figure out how to get this poor girl home. This was, I think, before we even had cell phones on the property. Mm-hmm. I mean, or maybe we did and we had to leave them in the car. I don't know. She didn't have a way to... So anyway, we ended up giving this crying woman this... So speaking of at the altar...
So the whole rest of the time, she's just there crying and having
until it was over. And then we took her home. It was
awful. The rest of you got to go through all the questions and
like,
classes?
At the altar... I mean, whatever those secrets were, whatever the breakout, whatever they had to talk about and share or whatever. But thankfully, they didn't get married and find out, right?
I guess, yeah. Well,
so, leaving at the altar, it was okay. This marriage is not happening.
I played along, whatever. I was the only thing that really made me mad because I knew this brainwashing thing was going to happen. The thing that made me mad was at the end, because we went on Friday. And it was 4 hours on Friday night after work, and I'm just like, all right. And then there's mentally,
Saturday,
then there's a whole day Saturday, right? Yeah. First thing in the morning, and you go there, and everyone was nice, and people in the class knew who I was, and I'm just blah 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 blah, and answering stupid questions about stupid things that I didn't give a rat's ass about. And the thing that I was mad about was that after the class was over, they open up the door, and the church is full of people. It's a full mass of people, and we had to go in, and the priest is like, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the people who just took the brainwashing class, and they're going to sit right up front and be our guests of honor.
They're going to get married.
I looked at my wife, and I was furious. I was because I don't go to church. It's not my thing, and to each their own and all that crap, but man, and she claims to this day, she swears upon,
she
on her
didn't know about the cheat.
That she didn't know about it, and I was like, you knew, you did it on purpose.
I just couldn't. This was very nice. We were out in the country. It's a beautiful retreat. We stayed overnight. It was the whole thing, but I just couldn't believe that even if so it's not going to work out. You're no longer going to get married, or you're fighting, or whatever the situation is. But you couldn't be like, hey, honey, we're done here at this class. We've got some serious things to talk about. We're leaving, or I'm leaving, and you should come. No, he got up and he left. Left her there with no car, no way to get. That was the end.
Yeah.
The end.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. A couple more items here. We'll get to some hypothetical questions in just a bit. Also, bad news, happy music later on. This is kind of cool. I would love for us to have an aquarium in our area and do something like this. The Virginia Aquarium is doing a sleepover for adults only. Now, there's museums. I know the one in Milwaukee, they do a wine walk or something. The zoo does. Some zoos do that. But this aquarium, it's a sleepover. It's next month. It costs $130. It includes a light show, animal encounters, other surprises, and there's an open bar. Which just that could lead to some problems. It could lead to some problems.
So it's a fundraiser for the
what a great idea though for adults that maybe don't want to be at the aquarium when there's a bunch of kids running around screaming and yelling and hollering.
Mm-hmm.
I love going to zoos and aquariums and stuff, but I can't stand being around kids. They're annoying. They yell and scream and they run everywhere. It's like, shut up, kid. This one is this is awesome. I don't know if you saw this, but Memorial Day, ABC News helping a family reconnect with a relative who died more than 50 years ago in Vietnam. Captain Riley Leroy Pitts was killed back in 1967, was the first black officer to receive the Medal of Honor, the MOH. And his wife, still alive, obviously, recently watching a PBS documentary on Muhammad Ali. Right? So tuning into PBS, Muhammad Ali, randomly saw a clip of Ali talking about being a conscientious objector. Turned out it came from ABC's archive, so ABC went looking for more footage of her husband having a conversation with Muhammad Ali about being a conscientious objector. She and her son both got pretty emotional watching this. Turned out a reporter had gone back to interview her husband, Captain Pitts, and his men after he had passed away. They talked about how much they respected him and what kind of leader he was.
I'm watching his mannerisms, and that's the first time I would obviously remember his facial expressions, his body language.
Without his leadership, everybody would have completely fell apart.
Clearly the respect that they had for him and the appreciation for his leadership, and it was probably more personal than it is anything that I saw in the video. I'm seeing more than I expected, and I don't know that I was quite ready for that much. I told you I wasn't crying either.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a whole lot more.
Yeah, that I missed out on something special.
So, yeah, these kids whose father died in combat didn't know their dad, never heard his voice.
And then they find this video footage?
And they find this video footage while they're watching a PBS documentary about Muhammad Ali, and ABC News, to their credit, gets contacted by the family, goes back into the archives, and finds even more footage of these interviews that they did with some of this guy's troops that he served with while he was in Vietnam. And found out even more about their dad and about long-lost husband.
Well, and you know what it's like, obviously, a photo versus a video. You can see mannerisms and how they move and talk, and just you learn so much more about a person, right? To be able to see your father in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Moving.
Pretty cool stuff. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to our hypothetical questions in just a few minutes. Also, some Papa Roach on the way.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
RockMornings.com is the website if you want to find all our contact info. Looks like that's where Shane went to get our number, because Shane texted in and said, I got to ask, is this Brian's on-air personality, or is he actually always like this?
What does that mean?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what I said. It was probably the church stuff, but this is a good percentage of who I am all the time. I'm not one of those people that's...
I would concur with that.
Making up things.
Is Shane just getting a taste of it and wondering, or what? I don't know. Thanks, Shane.
I'm trying to go back through his text, but there's not a lot here. He requested on January 2nd of 2024 some Jesus Christ posed. Then he said on June 28th of 2024, I don't know what song that was, but it was pure garbage. And I responded, yes, it was. So I guess we agree on whatever song was pure garbage.
Okay. That's our relationship with Shane so far?
That's the only two texts we've got so far. And then there was a text just this morning saying, I got to ask, is this Brian's on-air personality, or is he actually always like this?
Shane, while you're there, take a second to sign up for free stuff that we're giving away as well.
Yeah, RockMornings.com.
I'd like to give you free stuff.
Again, I would say that 90% of the time, what you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that, because I talk for a living, when I'm in public and I'm just, hanging with my wife, or I tend to not talk as much.
You're a quieter person.
I feel like I say it all on the radio, and that's enough for me. I don't want to talk much in person.
Huh, I feel opposite.
Oh, I've been around. I know, I've been around you.
I feel opposite.
I've been around you when you talk.
More of a chance to talk when I'm not here.
Yeah. Tom says, hey, Brian, I actually think this is your edited version of you. Oh, there's a lot of editing that goes on, specifically with the cursing.
Yeah, of course. That goes without saying.
If you know me.
It's part of the job.
Like, Jake went home with a whole new dictionary of words to use.
Your nephew that was
My nephew that was here learned a whole bunch of new curse words because he was in the truck with me while I was driving around. That part is, that'll be something you'll notice about me if you're meeting me in person versus
professional
on the radio.
Job.
Oh, Shane said it was actually regarding the little kids at the zoo hate. Look, I don't like kids no matter where I am. I just think they're a nuisance. So if you like kids and you're a guy that has kids and whatever, that's good. Don't get me wrong. I can stand being around a kid for a couple minutes, but for the most part, bro, I got no time or desire to be around kids.
Oh, if they're funny.
They're loud and annoying and obnoxious, and they run everywhere, and they're just.
Yes. And
have you ever been at a zoo?
Yes, I have.
And it's just, and you don't have kids, it's just like the most maddening thing. They're everywhere, and they're screaming and yelling, and all this. And I watch these parents, and they have to take all this crap with them, and it's like, that, bro. I don't want that.
I miss those days so much.
No,
and they're
thank
so
you.
excited about everything that they're seeing and everything.
No.
Yeah, that's where we almost...
I'm also excited, and they're in my way of my excitement.
That's where
Get out of my way.
Almost...
I just think that there should be more things where you have the option to do them adults only. Like, if I want to go to the zoo and I don't want to be surrounded by screaming, snot-nosed kids and other people's mistakes, then I should have that option.
A fundraiser, an adult night
I'd be
kind
more
of
than
thing.
happy to pay for that.
Yes. The zoo
I'm fine
is
with that.
where we almost lost Grace in Madison.
Well,
we had to shut down the zoo. As a matter
I remember that story. All right, hypothetical. Got a little sidetracked there, Shane. Hypothetical Thursday. Asking each other hypothetical questions to see what our responses will be. Today is very introspective, Gene. I don't know if you're going to be able to do it.
I don't like these.
Think of it like, what's the thing at the end of your life? Epitaph? What is that? The thing they put on your headstone?
What?
If you had to sum up your life in 15 words or less.
Oh, man.
What would you say about your life? Not that you're dying, just more like to this point. 15 words or less. You're Twitterizing your life. And you can just say one word like mother, daughter, sister, lover,
I was just going to say.
husband.
I would hope that I was a good mom and...
Good mom, that's 2.
Loving spouse.
That's 2
good
more.
Good friend.
That's 2 more, that's 6.
I would hope that that people liked being around me, that I was fun. I would hope that my life made an impact.
I'll give you
to the
fun
community.
as 1, impactful as 2.
Yes.
So now you're up to 8.
Oh, I'm bullet pointing words here?
Well, yeah, you can't use all the salad in between if you're looking to stay under 15 here. So good mom.
Yeah, loving, compassionate.
Loving mom, good wife.
Mm-hmm.
Good friends.
Funny.
Impactful.
Mm-hmm. Good friend, yes.
Funny.
Yeah.
You're getting close to 10.
Okay. Enjoyed being around me, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't hear a lot of negatives in there. I don't hear a lot of like...
Well, I'm not going to sum up my life by saying negatives. Why would I do that?
Should have done this, could have done this, would have done this. Swing and a miss. Nothing negative, huh?
Are there things I'd like to do still? Travel more, of course, but...
Yeah, regrets. Wish she had traveled more.
I'd still like to do that. I'd still like to do those things.
So your life in 15 words is a Disney movie.
No, it's not a Disney movie. I just hope those things
loving
that
mother.
I feel like I've had a career. You know, that I spent my life doing things that were important and helped raise good people.
That's a lot more than 15 words.
Well, I hope you liked being around me, Brian.
Yeah.
What?
Look, I'm not good at this stuff, okay? That's not my strong suit. Ask my wife, she'll tell you. Compliments and happiness, not really what I'm good at.
Good daughter and sibling and those things. The important stuff. I would hope that I spent my time doing the stuff that people will, hold close and remember well.
All right.
And smile and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'd try to fill that with what I hope my life was like.
15 words or less. Go figure. Gene can't fit it into 15 words or less.
No. Well, it's more sentences than bullet points.
What about like road rage? You know, that time when you got really angry and dropped the F word on the radio?
There was one time in like 28 years, okay? One time.
Stands out though, doesn't it?
It's hard to forget.
All right, so 15 words or less, summarizing her life. Gene actually wants to go all positive. No negatives.
Yeah, why would I want to keep that on?
No regrets.
Oh, I'm not saying there aren't regrets. I'm just saying, why would I use that to sum up my life?
I'm just...
Lots of regrets. Of course there's regrets.
To this point.
Yes.
You got plenty of life left. Hypothetical Thursday, asking each other hypothetical questions. Gene's question for me coming up a bit later on. We got Papa Roach now and sports in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
P. Roach with Last Resort. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Brew Crew sweeping the Red Sox thanks to a 6-5 win in 10 innings yesterday. They're off today and they're in Philly tomorrow night starting at 5:45. Thunder all over the T-Wolves last night, 124-94. They advanced to the NBA Finals, and they await the winner of the Pacers-Knicks series, which continues tonight. Game 5 of that series is at 7 p.m. on TNT. Pacers up 3-1. NHL last night, Panthers over the Hurricanes, 5-3. They advance to their third straight Stanley Cup final. They'll face the winner of the Oilers and Stars series, which continues tonight at 7 on ESPN. Game 5 with the Oilers up 3-1, looking to eliminate Dallas. Indiana man took the rivalry between the Pacers and the Knicks a little too seriously.
What happened?
And has been arrested and charged for stabbing a Knicks fan at a bar back on the 23rd. The stabbing occurred at about 10:30 at night after the Pacers fan, a guy named Jarrett Funk, had allegedly harassed two Knicks fans while they were watching the game at a bar in Carmel, Indiana, a suburb about 20 miles north of Indianapolis. According to the court records, Funk approached one of the Knicks fans, hitting the fan's hat off his head. Began yelling at the two fans to engage in a fight. At that point, Funk's father, this guy is a 24-year-old grown-ass man, and his own dad, who's there with him, had to grab him and try to get him to get out of the bar and de-escalate the situation. Bar staff then called police and told Funk and his family to leave the premises. Officers with the Carmel Police Department initially responded to the call at a brewery, which is Danny Boy Beer Works, but then turned around after the staff called them a second time and said the man causing the issue had already left. However, after Funk left, the two Knicks fans went out onto the patio at the bar to smoke, and while they were out there having a cigarette, ripping darts, this guy stormed back onto the patio and began harassing them once more. One of the Knicks fans apparently pulled out a pocket knife and put it back in his pocket, according to the court reports. Maybe saying, hey, look, dude, don't mess around. We'll stab you here, bro. Funk then attacked the man, pulling out his own pocket knife and stabbing him in the back with it. While the Knicks fans fought back, the other Knicks fans attempted to pull the guy off his friend, ended up cutting his leg, and this guy's been arrested and charged with, obviously, some violent crimes after stabbing a couple of Knicks fans.
Well, hey, I got one, too. Here's my knife. Here's my knife.
Drunken lunacy about
Yes.
Basketball. This guy in Detroit did not want to be on camera. A grounds crew member was injured during a game, and while he was sitting there being tended to by some of the players, umpires, and eventually an EMS worker, the cameras remained on him, and of course the broadcasters, they got to stop the game. It's like right along the first baseline. So the play has come to a halt, and the broadcasters are, trying to relay the play-by-play as to what's going on, and the guy noticed the camera was videoing, and he just gave him the old one-finger freedom rocket.
I hope this guy's okay. A part of the grounds crew, he's hurt. One of the EMTs is coming out.
It doesn't look like he's too comfortable, so hope it's just a leg and something not too serious.
Yikes. Can't do that.
Yeah. Showed off the old Freedom Rocket, and the announcers there, yeah, you can't do that. This guy apparently maybe was wanted by the police or something like that, was working illegally for the team and didn't want to be on television. Yeah.
You can't see me, like, covering it up with his hot dog and his...
Well, he was a grounds crew member, so he was out there all exposed. He had no way to to hide his identity with a hot dog or a drink. This guy, on the lighter side of things when it comes to baseball games, is a post-game reporter doing the interview on the field.
Yeah, I know a couple of those guys.
Yeah. Decent chance that you might get wet. SNY's Steve Gelbs doing an interview with New York Mets star Francisco Lindor. Gelbs interviewing Lindor on Memorial Day Monday after the Mets got a 2-1 win over the White Sox. Lindor playing the role of hero with a walk-off sac fly as the Mets scored in the 8th and 9th inning for a comeback win. Francisco Lindor doing the post-game interview with Gelbs.
Yeah.
Saw some of his teammates coming over for the Gatorade bath, and rather than standing there and taking it, he decided to grab. No, he grabbed onto the interview guy, and he got soaked.
Francisco, now 13 come from behind wins for the Mets already this season. What is it about this team that no matter what's going on throughout the game, it seems like you find a way to win more often than not in the end?
No one's trying to be the hero. Everybody's trying to pass the baton. You have Albi in the 8th. He comes in, he gets a hit. Then Acuna comes in, goes first and third because Nemo gets him there. Then Soto comes in, gets a good pitch. We tie the game. And then you have Tyrone, running hard as soon as they hit the ball. Everybody thought it was a home run, but I see you guys. And then you have Torrance coming in. Come here.
Well played. Well played.
I see you guys.
We all got to get it. We all got to get it.
We all got to get it, and Steve Gelbs got it. Got a little wet.
Well, that's fun, though.
Oh, yeah. A lot more fun than Freedom Rockets to the camera just because you got injured. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get back to our hypothetical questions in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Memphis may fire with Hell is Empty. On Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Cloudy with a high in the low 70s, but warming up tomorrow with lots of sun and a high in the mid-80s.
Warmer, and more importantly, the sun. It's been very kind of overcast and gray and rainy the last few days, and the sun's going to be nice all weekend long. Looks like low 80s and getting warmer by Monday, upper 80s possibility. But the weekend looks very nice.
Doc texted in, said she has a bench with her name on it in the park. Charitable and impactful, definitely fit.
Oh, Doc, I wish you were here. I'd hug you. Big, tight bear hug for Doc.
Ryan said, I'll agree, kids kind of suck. I was a kid once and was almost the first Amber Alert in Wisconsin. My parents were in a vehicle, and I was driving the following van with my 3 younger siblings and the dog, and got lost in Milwaukee for 3 hours because they missed the exit they took. So he's driving around with his siblings and the dog.
And they
parents can't find him. This must have been pre-cell phone.
Or Life 360 can't figure out
parents
where
call the Wisconsin Amber Alert. Put in the outer, what is it? The
all 3 of my kids are missing.
All points bulletin at APB on my kid in the van. Can you describe the van, sir?
We didn't get to that. We almost just shut the zoo down in Madison, that's all.
My friend Amy sent me a message on Facebook, said that's how Carly and Mike met, her daughter Carly and her soon-to-be husband on Hinge.
On Hinge.
Yep, and just ran into them over the weekend, enjoying some nachos. My buddy Pickles sent me a message, said, we did that as well since I was Catholic for the church and mom. Couldn't stand it. Went to Dell's right after. When we got to Dell's, I don't drink mixers, only beer, but that was a Jack night. So apparently after
his retreat,
the brainwashing, yeah, they like to call it a funny name because they want you to think it's all nice and dandy. It's not. Brainwashing.
I had a different experience than you. It was nice. Other than the fight and the girl and the crying and the ride home and the oof.
We didn't have any fights in ours, but it was funny because the only thing I really remember about it was the priest was, I think he was impressed by my outgoing nature. I don't know if you'd call it that. But one of the questions, and again, this was so long ago, my wife likes to tell the story, but one of the questions in the brainwashing thing was about, what do you do after you get married? And I was like, you got to have some sex. I said it like I would say it, And he's like, very good. You do have to consummate the marriage. And, all the official words on the Bible.
Well,
on the Bible
sure. Yeah, it's like a healthy part of a marriage.
And nobody but like, it's like being in class with a bunch of strangers. Nobody else wants to answer these questions. Nope. And I got no beef.
That's not what the teacher is all about. I'm not saying that out loud.
He's like, you're right. He's like, I'm good to see you, joining in the conversation. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. I just, I know the answer to this. The
I don't know what the situation was at this retreat with this couple. Like I said, I don't know if she had a hidden, debt, or he did, or they. I don't know how they could differ so much at something that far into it. You know what I mean?
You spent time with her and you didn't get the breakdown. Oh man, I'd have to know.
No, I don't know.
I would have to know.
I know whatever it was. I couldn't believe they got that far in their relationship before whatever that was the deal breaker.
Was it the?
And he was out. He just left her.
Was it the wine? Was it the drinking of the wine? I'm not drinking any Merlot.
He left her there. I'm out.
Hypothetical Thursday. Gene's question for me. My question earlier for Gene was summarizing your life in 15 words or less. She was somewhat able to do that.
Yeah.
Loving, caring, nice, friendly, blah, blah, blah.
Good mom.
Nothing about drunken ninja skills?
Good.
Peeing in a parking lot? Nothing about that?
None of that stuff.
None of that stuff? All right. What?
Outside. I'm outside Gene. Is that
outside Gene, yeah. What's your question for me?
I think I know the answer to this, but just give it a second of thought before you just gut speak this one, okay? Would you rather go, this is a business trip. You've got to do a business trip.
For this business or for any business?
No, this business. Okay. It's a business trip. For what you're currently doing, okay? Let's just not envision that you're a surgeon going on a business trip, okay? Not an astronaut going on a business trip.
Oh, check this out. That'd be me in the surgery room. Look at this guy's brain.
Let's just say you're in this job and you're going on a business trip. Would you rather go somewhere very, very close, like, I don't know, Sparta, Eau Claire, Arcadia, by yourself and do training and things like that? Or would you rather go on a farther, like Vegas or farther away, but all of us come with you?
All of us.
All of your coworkers come, so it's a business trip and we're all going and it's somewhere farther away. We're going somewhere farther away, maybe, let's just say somewhere fun. I don't know. We're going to Ireland, Brian. We're all going to Ireland.
This feels...
Or do you want to go very close, but it's only
This feels like a setup. Honestly, right off the bat, it feels like there's something coming down the pipeline, and you're trying to gauge my interest,
dude,
to whatever's happening.
There is zero coming down the pipeline. I can guarantee you on that.
Well, it's oddly specific.
No, I'm
and
just
it's
saying.
Work related. So
and a business trip. It has to do with work. Would you rather go somewhere that's close, but you're by yourself, or somewhere like an adventure?
How long is the business trip?
There's no caveats. I don't know. A few days. Let's just say less than a week.
A
typical business trip. A few days. Or we can go somewhere fun, but we're all going. Or I don't know. I'm just naming cities. Orlando, Seattle.
Is it paid for by the company?
Yeah. Let's just assume there's no cash out of your pocket.
Well, that ain't happening in this business or this company. That's for damn sure. Those days are over.
We're all going, or you're going by yourself.
I don't know. I guess I'd go with you guys. I mean,
yay!
Well,
you have some fun.
It has very little to do with you guys. Number one, the company's paying for it, right? Right out the bat, then I don't even give a rat's ass. You can send me anywhere if the company's paying for it. I'll find a brewery and some beer.
I'm assuming this doesn't mean that there's any cash out of your pocket. But we're all going, and then you can make memories again.
And number two, if I'm going to go to a business trip, why wouldn't I want to go somewhere more fun than, no offense to Eau Claire or Appleton or wherever the hell you listed off, but I've been to those places, and I don't need to go back, right away. I'd like to go somewhere maybe I've never been, where I could get into some trouble, have some fun. Are you talking to everybody from the building or just immediate?
Like all of us.
Do I have to hang out with everybody or are they just there?
let's assume that you have to hang out. Like there's stuff we're all doing together
like
during
a
the day,
mixer
and then
with a name tag type
the
thing?
night that there's some apps and we're hanging out and some cocktails. Yeah, maybe there's some dancing, maybe or some games.
Nope, you lost me at the dancing.
Okay,
I'm
gambling. Out. There's some poker or some.
I don't know, man. It's the whole group thing. Like,
we're all coming.
I can stand a couple of us in a room together, but everybody and all the people the people I don't know.
Yeah, get to know them.
I don't want to get to know
Yeah.
them. I don't care who they are. They're just faces in a crowd.
So he's going with us. We're all traveling together. That's what I hear. Pack your bags, people.
No.
Here we go.
That's the problem with these questions is I need to have the outline. If I've got to hang out with people from upstairs.
And we have to fly to get there.
I'll figure that out.
All right.
I don't have to fly. I'll
Pack
drive.
your bag.
If it's
Let's
Vegas,
go.
I could drive there.
Let's go.
I could drive there.
Hypothetical Thursday.
Eric texted in and said, Brian, I was thinking the same thing. It's a trap. Must be referring to the brainwashing thing. Somebody else texted in and said, it was Tiffany, said Balzer and Brian in the Bahamas. I like Balzer. We get along.
Yeah, you'd go with her in a minute.
Balzer's fun.
Yeah,
she's good.
She's super funny. She's quick-witted. She's positive. She's good to be around.
Well, and I can crack jokes, and Balzer doesn't get offended.
No. She'd be good fun.
That's the problem with the people upstairs. I can't crack jokes.
You don't know that.
I cannot. Not the kind of jokes I want to crack.
I don't know. We're all going together. Woo!
I can't say the things I like to say with those people around. That's an HR disaster waiting to happen. Step into my office, shut the door. That's what that is.
Going on a trip.
Yeah, I think I don't know, man. I'd have to really know the breakdown of what's going to happen here because
you just got to throw caution to the wind and pack a suitcase. Figure it out later.
Again, it's the hanging out with everybody, like you and Blake and Brian and even the boss. I can stand that, but the people I don't know, it's like, oh, you know how that works out for me, right?
Yeah, I know. It'll be
I've
good.
gone through that before.
It'll be fun.
Dave in the hotel room in Minneapolis. You know that water's $8 a bottle. Shut up, Dave. I'm drunk as bleep. I just got back from Sex World. I saw some drag people kissing each other.
I need a bottle of
water.
water.
A bottle of water and this Jimmy John sandwich. Leave me alone.
But Dave, you have memories.
Dave, well, I have good stories for me. I laugh at them. But for Dave, it was not good.
He just got a different hotel room for the rest of the vacation. Or the
no,
trip.
He stayed at someone else's house. He didn't even stay in a hotel. He had to go to a house.
Friend's house. He went to a friend's house.
Get out of town. That's... Tom said, I'm going on a work-paid trip next week to Arkansas for 4 days. Ugh.
I don't know. Little Rock, maybe. There's probably some fun stuff to do. I hope it's a city, really.
I do like spending time by myself in the hotel room watching TV and not being bothered.
I get it.
Crushing that candy. Good at that. Hypothetical Thursday. If you want to weigh in on our questions, you can find all of our contact info online at rockmornings.com. It's 7 Dust.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Remember Book It? You're a little too old and your kids are a little too young.
Like Book It?
No, the reading program in school.
No.
Where they encourage you to read books and then you get free pizza at Pizza Hut?
No.
You don't remember that?
Mm-mm.
All right. Was that maybe not around here?
I don't remember that. It probably was.
Well, when I was a kid, they would try to encourage kids to read more books by having a program called Book It. And you would read all these books and whatever on a list, and you check them off. And then after reading so many books, you'd get a personal pan pizza.
Ooh, yeah.
Wow. I only remember it because it happened once, and then my dad refused to do it again because we went to Pizza Hut thinking we were going to get a pizza for 2 people.
And you got this.
And it was like 6 inches across, and my dad was so mad.
Right, because he still had to buy his pizza. You got a little personal one to eat yourself, but he's like, if I don't spend money, I'm not eating dinner tonight.
Yeah. So needless to say, the Book It program came to an end at my house. Well, Pizza Hut is back with a Book It app for parents who have kids that are on phones now, right? 40-year history of Book It. Pizza Hut announcing the launch of the Book It app, now available in all app stores. New app officially launching this month, designed to help parents keep their children engaged in reading all summer long. New digital tool empowering families to track progress of their kids' reading, set goals, earn pizza rewards, all while preventing the summer slide, the well-documented dip in reading that happens every summer. We actually were at the Lumberyard the other night for the Lacrosse Loggers game against the Rochester Honkers, the home opener for the Loggers. And they had a bunch of kids from schools throughout the area out on the field to congratulate them. They have a reading program that they do to encourage some of the kids from schools to read 1,000 minutes, and then they get honored at the ball game, and they get in for free, and a bunch of them got to throw out first pitches and all that stuff. So, yeah. Book It, Summer of Stories, officially launching on June 1st, so this Sunday. Initiative encouraging parents to stay engaged with their kids' reading journey, sharpen their literacy skills throughout the summer months. And the Book It app now available in all stores online.
Yeah, and I believe, the Eau Claire District Libraries have a program. I know the La Crosse District Libraries have programs as well with their summer, reading challenges where you can... Some of them have cool, yard signs you can get where, I have a reader here at the house, and they do certain numbers of books and get certain treats or rewards or ice creams or whatever it is. But your local library will have some information about summer reading challenges as well.
In other food-related news, Arby's testing steak nuggets in select markets.
Why does that not sound great?
They're not breaded. They're just like steak bites, essentially, cubes of meat. You get them in a nuggets or as nuggets in a bowl or in a sandwich. A 5-piece will cost you $5. A 9-piece goes for $9, so they're $1 a piece. And TikTok reviewers, the Insta people,
say they're good?
Say that they're pretty good.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Apparently.
First impressions, it smells good. Looks, this bit look like dirt. If your steak can't taste good without sauce, that bit mid. I don't know, the taste is weird.
Is that a burnt pine cone? If you look in the toilet and see this, you need to drink more water.
I wouldn't say I would go out of my way to get them again, but they do have good flavor and I'm not sad about it.
So think of like
chunks of prime rib or steak, kind of chunks.
With the, some kind of coating or sauce or whatever, and they're cooked up and they're served in a bowl. Steak nuggets.
Or a sandwich, by the way.
Available at Arby's in certain locations. Some people saying they look like mystery jerky. The nuggets are like the worst burnt ends you've ever had in your life. I couldn't even get past the smell. Somebody else said they need to go back to the drawing board with this one.
Arby's, we have the meat.
Nah, I'm seeing mixed reviews. Some people are really digging it.
Somebody else said, even outside of fast food, I could not imagine a situation where a dish called steak nuggets would be a good thing.
And you know what? I am not a nugget.
Maybe the name needs a little bit of work.
Tips. They're almost like tips.
Yes.
Like tenderloin tips.
Or if you take like a skewer and you skewer the tip and then or the meat. And then
the
you
nuggets, I think, naming it that.
I think we have this general idea of what a nugget is, right?
Yeah, well, I would say if you were looking for a description, they're more like a steak tip, a tenderloin tip. They're little pieces, and you can have it in a sandwich. By the way, available in Green Bay. That's one of the...
Similar to yesterday when we were talking about hamburgers, and people were saying that chicken burgers were their favorite when it's not really a burger, it's a chicken sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah. And last but not least, Twix has a new flavor. Snickerdoodle Twix flavor. At that point, with all the caramel and cookie and chocolate and all this, does it even, can you tell? You know what I mean? Like, can you, oh yeah. I'm sure it tastes different than a normal Twix, right?
I'm sure it does, and I bet it's really sweet.
The new bars feature Snickerdoodle flavored caramel along with milk chocolate and cookie layers. Follows cookie dough as the second cookie-inspired flavor that's been added to the Twix lineup. So Twix adding another flavor this time around in Snickerdoodle. Look for those in Snores.
Try both.
I don't know.
Try both.
I'm good.
I don't mind the regular ass Twix. Those work just fine for me.
I get it, though. All the candies and the beverages and stuff are branching out and mixing flavors and doing all that. And if people like it...
Yeah, keep doing it.
And doing it, purchasing them, but I'm good.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, the friggin' sports after Volbeat.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
That is Volbeat, Monster's Hand. Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene. Bad News, Happy Music coming up in a bit. Do you remember Super Bowl 51?
I don't know. Which one was that?
It was this one, in fact.
To the right, Bennett to tight end left. Second and goal to go from the 2. Toss sweep right for James White. Pucks it under the right arm. Cuts it upfield. Driving forward. Diving to the goal line. A touchdown. And a title for the Patriots.
I can't believe it.
Oh, my God.
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. Led by the greatest quarterback.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
28-3.
So it was one of the Brady bowls.
Super Bowl 51. Tom Brady leading the Patriots back, dragging them up and down the field for touchdowns and 2-point conversions to overcome the insurmountable odds and beat the Falcons. Well, the Falcons apparently forgot about Super Bowl 51 when they accidentally roasted themselves on social media yesterday. The friggin' sports!
How? What do you mean?
Brought to you by the fact that the internet never forgets. They tweeted out a picture of a couple of their players standing next to one another, Jesse Bates and Mike Ford. Standing next to each other on the practice field. Bates wears the number 3. Ford wears the number 28.
Oh, okay, whatever.
The response was immediate.
It's just a happenstance. They're numbers and they're players, and they happen to stand next to each other. Is that it?
And to make matters worse, what did the Falcons do? Rather than promote their new players on the practice field, they deleted the tweet. Damage done. Screen capped, shared widely all over social media,
get rid of it at that point?
Making them look even more foolish.
Yeah, they should have just left it.
Lean into the joke.
Absolutely.
It's become an internet meme. It's been 10, 12 years since it happened, whatever. It's time to move on from that.
Yes, you've
Lean
got
into
a whole new generation of players wearing numbers and
obviously fans able to screenshot the post, spread it all around Twitter before it was deleted. Fans getting a massive laugh out of the post, sharing their thoughts all over social media. How did they not see this before posting? LOL. Many people suggesting that an intern was about to get fired. And
what would an 18, 19, 21-year-old intern know about that necessarily either?
28-3. Falcons done forgot about it. And then to make matters worse, then deleted it.
They definitely made matters worse by deleting it. They should have just left it.
Maybe try to flip the script. Maybe try to say, hey, it's a new 28-3 for the Falcons. You know,
here we come.
Here come the birds. Whatever. But yeah, they made it worse by deleting it.
Silly. Like they can make it go away. It's already out there. It's not going away whether you delete it or not.
No.
It's out. It happened.
The friggin' sports brought to you by the internet. And its unbeaten streak. We'll get to bad news, happy music in a couple of minutes. Also, some new stuff from Mammoth.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril. Now that's just nasty. Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
Repeatedly is the problem, I think, with this story. I mean, obviously, hitting a kid's not a good idea, but the repeated hitting of a child on a plane because they call you fat and Miss Piggy.
Like they were just being mean to someone?
Hashtag Florida. Woman arrested at an airport gate after she repeatedly hit a child on a plane. Arrest report says it all started with the child calling Christy Crampton fat and Miss Piggy. This was on Memorial Day. Set to fly home from their Disney World vacation. According to what witnesses told police, the child told Crampton she couldn't fit in the airplane seat. Witnesses say Crampton began hitting the child with her fist and hit him on the head with a water bottle.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
What? Report says she slammed the child's head into the airplane window. Child using his arms to cover his head. Airport officials haven't said how old the kid was. However, Crampton told police the child was very rude and disrespectful during their trip to Disney. So this must be her kid, and she goes on the warpath and beats this kid right there on the plane in front of everybody else because he said that you're not going to fit in that airplane seat. You're too fat, Miss Piggy.
If by plus you mean I have an extra fabulous, gorgeous, give me some of that figure, then yes. If you mean fat, then no.
After the child called her fat, Crampton told police she took his phone away. She claims he pushed her arm off the armrest twice, and that's when she began smacking him. I like when you have to, tell the cops why you're hitting your child. Well, he was pushing my arm off the armrest, and so it felt like the right thing to do. And then he called me fat, and so I started bashing him about the head with a water bottle and my fists. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, I'm in the right here, aren't I, Mr. Police Officer? No. In fact, according to the report, police say she went beyond typical disciplinary actions. The woman was not correcting the child. She was abusing him. Family declined to give statements to the police. Crampton, charged with felony child abuse, appearing in front of a judge on Tuesday, granted her a $10,000 bond. Judge ordered her no contact with the child. A report says the FBI was also notified of the incident. That's not what you want.
No, that's not. Yeah.
It's not a good look. See the video of the pigeons on the plane?
I did. So Madison to Minneapolis?
Yeah, this is local. And the pilot, are you ready for this?
Catching them, right? Didn't they catch them?
Yeah, so obviously birds of a feather flock together, but you don't want to see it inside the plane.
In the plane.
The pilot gets on and says, ladies and gentlemen, we have a wildlife situation on the plane, and everybody is laughing at that point. Traveling back from California to Madison, Wisconsin, when he boarded his connection at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, a guy named Tom Caw said, when I boarded, everything seemed normal. Then I went to sit down and overheard a passenger come up to the flight attendant who was standing right by where I was and said, I think there's a pigeon on this plane. Pigeon
they're really
walking.
Screaming, aren't they? Yeah. Oh, they're there. Like catching it like a bat, like you would catch a bat in your house.
Yeah, I'd catch a pigeon barehanded before I catch a bat barehanded. I'll tell you that.
With like a jacket?
Yeah, you throw a jacket over it or something. Apparently, the pigeon was walking around underneath the seats. Delta Airlines baggage handler then came aboard, safely removed the bird in time for the on-time pushback from the gates. As the plane taxied to the runway, pilots radioed air traffic control. Are you ready for this? There's a pigeon on the airplane and it won't go away. Sure enough, passengers located a second pigeon on the plane. The bird took flight looking for a way out. That's when this guy grabbed his phone and hit record. Got video of the incident. See the
People
thing
are
flying
screaming
around
on there. Come on.
Wow.
It's a bird.
It's just a pigeon.
Just a bird that got on the plane. And they're not even in the air, right? They're still on the ground.
They're just hanging out on the tarmac.
Out
Spokesperson for Delta Airlines said the flight arrived safely in Madison about an hour behind schedule. But
I'm sure.
They were able to make things work.
Stay calm, people.
2 hikers.
Like on a mountaintop, like in the desert, like on the Appalachian Trail. What do you mean, hikers? Where are we? What are we doing?
2 hikers. New York's Adirondack Mountains calling 911 to report a third member of their party had died.
Oh, my God.
Apparently not dead yet.
I'm not dead. Yeah. He says he's not dead. Yes, he is. I'm not.
Not dead.
They had taken hallucinogenic mushrooms and were mistaken. What happened to Bob? I don't know, man. He must be dead. I'm high as F, but I don't know where the hell Bob is.
Like they lost him, or he was just laying there and they didn't think he had a pulse anymore, or what?
A state forest ranger responding to a call about a hiker who had reportedly died on Cascade Mountain, a popular summit in the Adirondack High Peaks. The 2 hikers who called 911 also told a steward on the mountain summit that they were lost. The steward determined the hikers were in an altered mental state, according to the agency. Supposed dead person called and was not injured. Yeah, hey, this is Bob. Oh, is this Bob who's supposed to be dead? Yes, that Bob, actually. I'm not dead. I'm just lost. I don't know where I am. I'm not injured either. I just I can't find my friends. You can never go hiking with these guys again, right? You just can't hang out with these people anymore?
So the 2 hikers called to say our friend is dead, and the other hiker called to say I'm lost?
The ranger escorted the 2 hikers down to an ambulance, which took them to a hospital, and brought the third to the group's campsite, where they all later met up. All's well that ends well?
Steve Areno, man, you're
By the way,
fine.
that's it for information on this story that I saw. So
Okay.
There's not a lot of info, but 2 guys got high on mushrooms on the mountain.
And lost their buddy.
And called and said he was dead. And then he called and said, I'm not dead, I'm just lost. And then they all met up afterwards and did more mushrooms. Apparently.
That was a close call earlier, man, when we thought you were dead.
Maybe not the 2 at the same time. Maybe the mushrooms in the apartment and the hiking separate. No?
I think that's a popular thing to do.
Do you, man? I'm just saying. At a recent orgy at a home in the East Bay, DJ J. Maximilian had to politely ask a group of people to stop using his gear for support.
That's an interesting gig to get hired for, isn't it? Like, hey, what'd you do, DJ guy? I was the entertainment at a house orgy?
If Donut's listening, yo, staff.
Uh-oh.
Stop bumping the table. It's a great scene in House Party with Kid and Play where the people are in the house party jamming and Martin Lawrence is DJing on the 1s and 2s on the wheels of steel, and people keep bumping his table. I told you, stop bumping my table.
Kind of like that with this.
They were
speakers.
so focused on each other that they didn't realize. And this apparently wasn't the first time. The sex parties that this guy DJs, held in mansions, Airbnbs, speakeasies, and warehouses all over the Bay Area, rarely come with a proper booth. This guy is just looking for a proper booth to do his DJing in.
None of these mansions have proper booths.
Sometimes they give you a folding table or a coffee table, or you grab a couple of chairs to put stuff on.
Dude, maybe if this is lucrative, you got to get your own equipment that keeps you protected.
Is this guy cornering the market on orgy DJing?
I guess he is. If
I didn't know you had an option. I mean, I DJed at strip clubs, and that was not very fun, but you had a proper booth.
I guess if you're open to being that entertainment, the word probably gets around. And they're like, hey, call Bruce. He's good at that.
DJ J. Maximilian apparently has to remind people not to use the DJ table for adult play activities that require stabilization.
I don't know, DJ J. That better be really a good
Apparently,
gig.
this guy, who also does mainstream gigs at some other EDM and wub 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 festivals and whatever, has been a fixture on the sex party DJ circuit since the 90s. We're talking 35 years here, Gene.
How do you get to be on the circuit of a sex party thing?
He said, quote, the COVID era slump is officially over. Sex culture is so back. People are having orgies and getting a DJ to play some tunes.
And orgies are not too much fun if no one wants to do with you.
Who knew?
Business
There's a whole
is banging? Is that
Not only
it?
is the music banging.
So is the business?
Over the years, Maximilian has perfected his musical approach to setting the mood. He keeps things relatively slow, playing nothing over 120 beats per minute.
Yeah, they don't want that.
Avoids distracting vocals and sticks to stripped-down dark chords.
Probably don't need sing-alongs. Oh, sweet Caroline probably isn't the vibe.
I mean, you might get a couple of little, yeah. Since dancing is not the point of these parties, he prefers to play down-tempo and chill. However, another DJ, DJ Fairplay, regularly plays parties hosted all over the place, a members-only sex-positive community. Loves to start out with dance music. People will yell out that they love this song right in the middle of effing.
Do you watch this?
She finds that at the beginning. She finds that at the beginning of the orgy, people are not ready to dive in yet. So she focuses on getting them into the rhythm. As the clothes start to come off, she then shifts to a slower, sultrier vibe. 3 to 6 DJs typically tag in over the course of the night at the orgies that she works at.
Huh?
So these are like
tag in.
Full on.
Okay, I'm up. You've been 90 minutes. Now it's my turn.
Well, different vibe, different mood, different tunes, different attitude, different light show, different everything. You're not doing the same position for 9-10 hours at these orgies, right?
9-10 hours?
Or the same person. These are multiple people at multiple
9-10
times.
hours. You got 9-10 hours in you?
No, I don't. I got like 9 minutes.
It's a one long song. It's a Leonard Skinner song, and it's all over. So you just get to stand there and watch, I guess, huh? Are you just...
Orgy DJs have a range of approaches when it comes to voyeurism.
Oh, see, here we go.
The lady DJ we just talked about tries not to stare too much. I look at my laptop, but of course she sees a lot anyway. I've seen them respond to the music and then F harder, faster, and become sweatier. Oh, my God. I didn't know this was even a thing. I thought you just bring along your...
I thought it was just
portable
like,
speaker.
Yeah,
Somebody's got the Bluetooth on and
some sort of keys and a garage door opener and a little fire or something with just a few neighbors, not like hundreds of people in a mansion. I guess I'm just extrapolate that out and then you can figure it out. Pheromones everywhere, Brian. Pheromones.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of pheromones. All the pheromones.
Lots of it.
If this radio thing doesn't work out,
that's a freaky night.
I've got a whole another thing to look forward to. DJing sex parties in L.A. Bad news, happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to our daily check-ins after the pumpkins.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com, that's the website. You can find all of our contact info there. You can also register to win prizes, listen to the show live, and even check out the daily podcast. Talking about Tinder earlier.
Mm-hmm. Well,
trying to overhaul, revamp. People aren't hooking up, illicit hookups like they used to.
Yeah.
Rob said, as a student at UWL, I can confirm that one of the more popular dating apps that some of the students mentioned was Hinge. It was an interesting final research that the girls chose.
Yep. That's the one I've heard the most about recently.
Yeah, my friend Amy
Bumble
said that
too.
Her daughter Carly and her soon-to-be husband Mike met on Hinge as well. Thank you, Amy. Thank you to Rob. Got a text from Shane earlier asking, is this Brian's on-air personality or is he actually always like this? I wasn't quite sure what he was referring to, and he said it was actually regarding the little kids at the zoo hate.
You were just saying there was an aquarium that was doing adults only with an open bar, and you pay a certain amount per ticket and walk around the aquarium at night without children.
I don't know if hate's the right word. I think Shane maybe misread or misinterpreted. I made no bones about the fact that I do not like to be around children. I find them annoying, loud, obnoxious, all the things. I don't know if I hate them.
No.
I mean, to each their own. Do you, if you want to have kids and all that stuff, but they're just not for me.
You were just saying...
And I think that life should come with an adult-only option.
Things like these nighttime experiences at zoos and aquariums and things like that.
Look, we used to have smoking and non-smoking sections in restaurants. It didn't really do anything, obviously. A little pane of glass in between the two booths wasn't going to stop smoke from coming over and killing you.
But this, you're saying, hey, when there's entertainment options, maybe there could be adult-only versions.
Well, again, I like to go to zoos as well.
Well, maybe you just have to be around other people. It's called life and the world.
Well, I do that all the time. What I'm saying is I'd like the option to not do that. Much like my Doritos. I would like to have the Doritos offer me a bag where every chip's got the loaded dust on it instead of just one or two in each bag. I'd pay more for that. Just give us the options. That's all. It's 2025. Let's make with the options here. All right? If I want to get the burger that looks like the burger in the commercial,
never happening.
I'll pay for it. Just let me get it. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for what you're selling me. Not this thing.
Hate's
Sorry,
a strong
Shane,
word.
but hate is a bit strong. Ryan saying, I'll agree that kids suck. I was a kid once and was almost the first Amber Alert in Wisconsin. Apparently driving a van with his 3 siblings and dog, following his parents, and got lost in Milwaukee. And parents couldn't find him for 3 hours.
Yeah. There was a lot of trust there, if you think about that, though. That one of the parents didn't drive the vehicle with a couple of the kids in it and the other one with another, that they let the kid drive the other two siblings and trusted, and the dog, and be like, see you at the destination.
Maybe the wife.
So they trusted him.
Maybe the wife or the husband didn't have a license or was, laid up or something like that. Somebody texted in and said, I'm envisioning some massive company retreat where you guys do trust falls.
Hypothetically.
I will not be doing any of that crap. Look, I went to a stupid palm reader one time with Jean, and I'll never do anything with Jean again.
That was a team building.
When it comes to team building, because her ideas are terrible.
It was fun. We went out afterwards.
Afterwards was okay.
We went out and took a party bus and went to a bunch of different locations after we had our palms read, which was a different experience together. Remember?
Yeah, I just remember the palms being read was the dumbest and stupidest waste of time I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I'm glad I wasn't paying for it because it was so dumb.
It was good. Trust fall. Hey, let's do that.
Bro. That will never happen. I will never participate in anything stupid like that.
We could do some of those, those team building games.
You know what doesn't build team? Trust falls. Anything that says team building does not build teams.
You don't know that.
It does not. You're living in fairyland.
You could.
If you think that team building exercises build team morale.
Okay, maybe they're
doing the stupid song with the clap in front of Target people. Come on, everybody, we're going to open a store.
Maybe
here we
not
go, here we go, here we go. Sell some more.
But you could put team building into a lot of different things.
No.
Yeah, you could.
Shared memories about awesome times and a lot of drinks, which would never be team building. Is team building.
Push-up or sit-up thing or whatever it was in the hotel room, and there was a push-up challenge.
Now.
It was a push-up challenge or something. Yeah.
Great memories. Last a lifetime. Build strong team bonds. Have that memory forever.
Push-up challenge.
Not trust falls.
Well, you can put lots of things.
Not signs on everyone's back with encouraging words about the person. Give me a friggin' break.
You can say lots of things are team building.
Those people are high on some stuff, and they need to stop. Thank you very much for all the correspondence. Good to hear from you guys. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.